Installation equipment and materials that you'll need are thinset mortar. For light colored tiles, use white color thinset, and for darker colored tiles, use gray color thinset material. Do not use ceramic tile adhesive. You'll need a trowel with 1/2 inch semicircular notches. You'll need a sponge, a bucket, a wet tile saw with diamond blade, grout float, grout release for cement or concrete tiles, penetrating sealer for cement or concrete, and a 17-inch floor polisher with sand screen number 220 green and white pads. Prepare a perfectly level, clean, dry, slightly rough surface in concrete 3/4 inch below the desired finished floor height. Let the concrete slab surface dry completely before installing the cement tiles. Otherwise, the moisture in the concrete will evaporate through the tiles, resulting in powdery white limestone deposits. Important: some slabs may continue to release moisture on the surface even after fully cured. Test your slab by taping a small piece of plastic to the area to be tiled. Make sure all edges are thoroughly taped down. If moisture accumulates on the underside of the plastic, you should apply a waterproofing membrane before proceeding with the installation. Wall tile can be installed over drywall, plaster, cement block, or cement backer board for moist areas. The surface should be flat, smooth, and dry, and any loose paint or cracked surface should be scraped off and patched. Okay, so our substrate is concrete. We floated this with 1/2 inch of cement. Next, we lay all the tile down to establish the pattern. So with an interlocking pattern, it's important to pick the pattern that's going to give you the longest run with the least number of cuts. This bathroom is irregular. It runs in many different directions, and so it's important to establish a starting point. So by starting at the door, we're achieving the longest possible run in this bathroom, because the tile is going to jump the curb and continue into the shower. You want your cement floor to finish below your corresponding floor for a smooth entry. But in some cases it's not going to happen. In this case, you finish with a threshold. Evenly apply the thinset to the floor subsurface using a trowel with 1/2 inch semicircular notches. Then cover the entire back of the tile with thinset material. Sometimes it is recommended to wet the back of the tile completely using a sponge to enable the thinset to adhere to the tile. For more complete instructions, follow the thinset manufacturer's guidelines for laying floor tile. Lay the tiles and press them into place with the palm of your hand, ensuring that they are perfectly level with each other. Don't beat the tiles with a tool such as a rubber hammer, or micro cracks will begin to appear in the tile over time. Be sure that the tiles are perfectly level throughout the installation. Move the tile back and forth so that the new tile is level with the first tile you installed. Bring the tiles together to a grout joint of about 1/16 of an inch and continue laying them until all the tiles are set in place. Use the 1/16 inch tile spacers to separate each tile if desired. If you choose a traditional carpet style pattern, start with the center pattern, then lay down the border tiles. Do not let thinset or mortar dry on the face of the tile, or it will be very difficult to remove without damaging the tile. Finally, lay down the outside tiles and cut them to fit using a wet saw with a diamond blade. To prevent cracking or fracturing from the movement of the substrate, and ultimately the earth itself, be sure to include expansion, construction, isolation, contraction, generic, and perimeter joints where appropriate. Consult your architect or engineer.
It was developed in France in about the 1870s, and that sort of coincides with the discovery of Portland cement in England. And it's a artisanal process. It has been since the word go. It always involves hand pouring each of these tiles. So it's exciting to be part of that lineage. We started with an initial base of 1920s, 1930s molds that were cast bronze, and this pattern was one of those. And then we've added to the collection both from our own inspiration and also from clients' inspiration. On large jobs, we recommend mixing tiles from different boxes so as to ensure that there's kind of an even distribution of shade. That this type of tile, because of the nature of cement and because of the natural pigments that we use, does vary in shade, and that's just part of the process and part of the beauty of the product.
Unlike glazed tile or porcelain tile, this product is raw cement. It's not fired up in a kiln, and it's encaustic, meaning that the color is actually part of the tile. So it's very important that this raw product be sealed. Let the thin-set mortar dry completely, usually 2 to 4 days before grouting. Apply the grout release following the manufacturer's instructions. Fill the small gaps between the tiles with grout using a rubber float. Immediately remove any excess grout with a clean, damp cloth or sponge. Do not let any excess grout dry on the surface, as it may be difficult to remove and may stain the tiles. Once you grout it and let it dry for about a day, you can then come back with the penetrating sealer for a flat look, or if you're looking for some sheen, you come in with satin, semi-gloss, or even high gloss. If desired, cement tile can be polished after the grout is dry, usually after 48 hours. There are a lot of good sealers on the market. At Design Vidal, prior to grouting the tiles, we usually use 511 penetrating sealer. After grouting, we use bulletproof sealer by DuPont, which is very heavy duty. In general, the higher the sheen, the better the protection. Use a mild pH neutral cleaner for ongoing cleaning. Use Mop and Glow to keep it shiny and protected. Granada Tile provides these general guidelines as suggestions to installers. Since application and job conditions may vary, the installer is ultimately responsible for ensuring proper installation and sealing of the tile. For more detailed information and instructions about installing your tile, visit granadatile.com to view our product collections and installation galleries.